Welcome to the YouTube channel, Auto-Moto-Tour. A channel about cars, motorcycles, adventures and much more. The video that follows is an announcement of a series of videos where I will cover the topic of whether it is financially and practically justified to replace a car with a scooter in everyday use. I will try to present you all the costs, as they used to be, as they are now, and in the future episodes we will see what that future will bring us. 4 wheels, or 2 wheels? Several years back, just for information, we are now in 2023, everything is becoming more and more expensive. First reason for this was the COVID crisis, and then the war in Ukraine. In general, everything has become more expensive, from production, raw materials, such as steel, rubber, electrical components, food products, as well as all energy sources, oil, gas and electricity. The big question is whether these price increases are planned or really the result of a healthy economy, in other words, the result of offer and demand. That would be a big topic that I leave for everyone to find their own answer, just think about it. All of the mentioned above is the reason for the creation of this and the following series of videos on the topic, 4 wheels, or 2 wheels? Let me explain. In a series of videos, I will try to show you whether it is worth buying and whenever the weather permits, to use a scooter or motorcycle instead of a car for daily trips to work, shops. All the time we are alone in the car. Just to note, all the vehicles mentioned during the video were purchased new and regularly serviced at authorized service centers with original parts, from filter, oil, everything, absolutely all original parts. In this first video, we'll go back in history to see what happened with car costs. All costs are real and I use my notes from last 15 years. So let's go into the past. In 2007, I bought an 8th generation Honda Civic 1.8 VTEC, 4 doors, sedan, with full equipment. On the EU market, this equipment package was named ES. Some of the equipment, all the windows were electric lifted, electric adjustment and folding of exterior mirrors that had built-in heating, electric movable sunroof, front fog lights, aluminum alloy wheels, 6-speed gearbox, cruise control, controls for the radio and cruise control on the steering wheel, leather-covered steering wheel, automatic air conditioning, ABS, adjustable power steering. We can say, quite decent equipment for that time. In addition, the original rear spoiler was also purchased. Regarding the engine, there was atmospheric gasoline engine of 1.8 liters, which delivered 140 horsepower and 174 newton meters, max speed slightly above 200 kilometers per hour. Consumption of 6 to 8 liters of gasoline. The price of that car was €21,796 with the rear spoiler included. Of course I was young and eager for a car and it was bought on credit on 7 years. With credit costs, the total amount was €22,600. According to the payment plan, €28,731 should have been returned at the end. The amount of the annuity should have been €277. But that was only in first year, then I received a notification from the bank, annuity has been increased to €311. So, in the end, the price of the car was around €30,500. The car was in my possession until 2018. And by then we made 240,000 kilometers. Now a little rough calculation of those 240,000 kilometers and 11 years. About 17,000 liters of gasoline was consumed, about 15 services were performed, 6 sets of tires were changed and in the end it was sold for €5,500. We will not analyze this car much because it no longer has an effect on the current situation. Of all the above, the information about its purchase price is important to us. We said €21,796, that is, with a credit €30,500. In 2018, I am buying a 10th generation Honda Civic 1.6, ID Tech, 5 doors, hatchback. Unlike the previous Civic, which came with a full equipment package, now the starting, comfort, equipment package was taken. Although the initial equipment package still meets all needs today, almost 5 years later. Okay. There is no front fog lights and no navigation. We also lost electricity, folding mirrors and sunroof, but all other benefits are there. From the safety package to the adaptive cruise control, radar, lane monitoring, the car can really drive itself and follow traffic, follow the vehicle in front, accelerate, brake, turn the steering wheel, all the modern miracles are there. Unlike the first time, this time I decided for a turbo diesel engine of 1.6 liters, 120 horsepower and 300 newton meters of torque. The decision for a diesel engine was made because I drive a lot, and all my life the price of diesel fuel has been lower than the price of gasoline. Yes, that's how it was, until I bought a diesel. And then the story slowly began to turn and diesel fuel became more expensive than gasoline, and it is still like that now. Let me also mention the price of the car, because it is quite important for our story. €22,280 and of course, again on credit, so on the end will be €26,800. The conclusion of the story and what happened between 2007 and 2018. Well, let's say that the car market hasn't changed much. A similar car was bought for relatively the same amount of money. Before gasoline and full equipment package, now diesel and basic equipment package, equal power, so we are more or less on the same level, nothing alarming. Alarm bells start ringing sometime in 2022. Prices are starting to skyrocket. For a new car people are waiting for months, they are expensive as if they were made of pure gold. Now I will present you several graphs, which will show very clearly what happened in the last 15 years. Here's how the situation looks like with fuel costs and other costs related to the car. I note that I drive about 30,000 kilometers per year on average. The first graph shows the movement of fuel prices from 2007 to today, the first half of 2023. We can see that somewhere in 2009 and 2010, we paid half as much for diesel fuel as we do today. The story is confirmed by the following graph, annual fuel costs. In 2010, it was cheaper to drive on gasoline than the last few years on diesel. The increase in the price of fuel, as well as all other products that we buy every day, is accompanied by an increase in the cost of maintaining your cars, again clearly visible on the graph. Please, take a few seconds to study this graph. And my favorite is the graph showing car prices. All the benefits of today's human progress can be seen there. More than 100 years ago, Henry Ford showed the way to the car industry with his Model T. The Model T got better and cheaper every year. And with the goal of making it possible for the middle economic class to purchase vehicles. Demand increased and the economic will turn faster and faster. Why is someone now, 100 years later, this same middle class, which built the world, trying to push back, to return to horse carriages? Who will buy these expensive, to be precise, too expensive cars? Let's turn to the present, whatever it may be. The new, 11th generation Honda Civic has recently arrived on the market. The price of the initial Elegance equipment package is €36,500. Yes, a price increase of approximately 65%. I am afraid to calculate the price of the vehicle on the credit. Some informative calculation gives us the amount of €43,000 on period of 72 months, 6 years. Why? How? Because of? Well, to begin with, we are forced to buy vehicles powered by electricity and hybrid vehicles, all in the name of ecology. The fact that a good part of the electricity is produced using oil and coal does not seem to matter at all in the ecological calculation. Also, it seems that it is even less important in that green calculation how we are getting the lithium needed for the production of batteries. I also wonder where those batteries will be one day disposed. Here's another topic for you to think about. Now we finally have all the information that got me started to creation of this video. As I said, I make about 30,000 kilometers a year. In my case, that it's about 500 hours, that is, 21 full days I spend in car. 95% of the time I'm in the car alone. I'm dragging 1,300 kilograms of sheet metal with me, using 4 tires, burning about 5 liters of diesel every 100 kilometers. I'm killing the car on the roads that are getting worse every day. A new car is each day further away, because the calculation simply doesn't allow it anymore, even if it is somewhere around 2028, when my Civic will be 10 years old. So the idea appeared, and then the calculation also. Idea was to get a scooter and whenever possible to leave the car in the garage and use the scooter. The goal is quite clear, to preserve the car at the expense of a cheaper vehicle, in this case a scooter. The decision came down to Honda ADV 350, with purchase price of €7,350. Power of about 30 horsepower and 31.5 Newton meters of torque. Fuel consumption is expected to be around 3.5 liters per 100 kilometers. Now some calculation is already in sight. The purchase price of a scooter is 5 times cheaper than a car, it consumes about 30% less fuel, a set of tires is about €175, while for a car it is over €600. Service for a scooter is around €100, while for a car it is around €300. Yes, it is clear, the tires on the car last longer, the service intervals on the car are longer. But, on the other hand, scooter does not have a turbine, DPF filter and other expensive details. Yes, I also know, the car will go 500,000 kilometers with repairs and investments, the scooter in the best optimistic world around 100,000 kilometers, also with certain investments during that mileage. In urban areas, a scooter is certainly better for getting around, in many cases always has the answer to the parking problem. But what is the goal of this whole idea? The goal is to buy the least possible number of cars at these enormous prices with the questionable future of this so-called eco-technologies. Technology for which it is not known, is it just a fashion hit or is it really the long-term direction of the car industry? This is supported by the statements of the manufacturers themselves. They do not give up on internal combustion engines. In fact, some manufacturers continue to develop them. So far, I have bought 2 new cars. I am currently 41 years old, and according to some current rhythm, I should buy the next car at the age of 47, then again at 57, and maybe then again, when I will be 65 years old, some smaller car to go to the doctor. Considering that every now and then, they are extending our working period, I guess we will live at least until we are 75. So I need 3 more cars. If it continues as it is, it will cost about 120,000 euros, or even more. Well, ladies and gentlemen, someone has to earn that. So, maybe we should try to reduce that number and have some fun along the way. Don't wake up every morning because you have to. Sometimes do something for yourself, something crazy and only reasonable for you. Maybe this venture is only for me reasonable and financially justified, I don't know, time will show. Hit the subscribe button, and we'll find out together. We'll see what happens with this experiment of mine. All costs will be recorded, so we will do the calculations and see which way it goes. Anyway, I love cars, I love motorbikes, I enjoy driving, and it's not like I have anything to lose in this experiment. At first sight, this plan has a lot of advantages and probably disadvantages also. We'll see what will score more points, pros or cons. If the topic seems interesting to you, give us a big like, click subscribe and the bell button, so you don't miss the next episode. Thanks and see you in the next video. And please, don't forget, try to enjoy your life.